Welcome to the shop. Hope you're having a great day. All right, I'm gonna start out here, and I want to thank Martin from the last video. You know, sometimes we get into things and we do things and we forget a lot of things, and in that video on heat treating, I said normalizing isn't important. Now, I was wrong. In fact, I was very wrong. This blade I couldn't fix or mess, man, I tried everything and I ended up just snapping it because I got so mad at it. It was just, anyway, Martin pointed out, you know, normalizing is very important even when annealing. The only thing I think, my blades are so short, I've never had a problem with them. But I ordered another piece of steel, so I'm about to redo this. You know, like I say, sometimes we get complacent and we do things, we forget to do things, and sometimes we don't notice a difference. Like I've never noticed a difference with my heat treating, but the blades are small, you know. When you normalize, it gives you a lot more strength. Now, when you have a bigger blade, you need more strength. And yeah, so I gotta remember that and not be so lazy and take the extra time to normalize. Now, all these knives, except this, came out real straight. And the blades are like 3-inch blades. And like I said, I've never had a problem with them. You know, I bang the hell out of my knives, and all the knives I make, you know, some are normalized, some aren't. I've never noticed a difference. In fact, I probably couldn't tell you knife to knife which one it is. But things like this happen, so it's always better to normalize. Man, you know, sometimes we need a wake-up call. We do things over and over and over, and yeah, man, so it kicked me in the ass, and I'm better for it. You know, we gotta learn from our mistakes and admit when we make the mistakes, and that's why I'm starting this out. All right, I got that out of the way. New tattoo was last night, so check this out. Basically, it's just scroll work. Now, when I got over here, I put these lines in, but my stencil was fading, so I stopped. You can see in here, the lines, I just couldn't get the lines right, so I'm gonna have to shade it and tighten it all up in there, and that's why I stopped. I was like, man, I'll just get more frustrated if I keep going and I'll mess it up more. But yeah, that was last night, and look, it's healed pretty good. I'm real happy with my line work. You know, my line work's getting nice and steady, and yeah, everything else is healing up real well. Boom. I've had a few people telling me I need to do OnlyFans. So, if you follow me on Instagram or TikTok and all that, I put up a video just showing all my pretty old man scarred up legs. All right, back to it. So all my knives are over there at the service grinder getting ready to clean up. So let's get over there. But first, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that stuff. Go check out my website. In the future, hopefully these knives will be up there, some new ones. I'm still sold out. Man, I've been so busy doing everything else. Enough excuses, let's get to it. So check it out. I got a service grinder over here, which I'm gonna do most of the knives on, but most of you don't, and most of you don't have the horizontal either. But they're a nice thing to have, but if you don't have it, all you need is a magnet. I think it's called an Adjust-O-Matic. It has a lever on it. These are actually down in my Amazon links in the link below and on my website. You just have a switch, so you turn it back on, boom, nice and straight. Now we're gonna go from 50 to 120 to A65 and stop and see how we like it. Now, I would suggest you hold the magnet here in the middle, but don't push into it. If you push into it, you're gonna make it all out of whack. It's either gonna be too much here or too much here, and it's just gonna be, you know, uneven. Unless you wanna taper it. If you wanna taper it, then you can push down and taper it. But be very careful. I'd still let the belt do the work and not the pressure of your hand. Just maybe a little bit more pressure on the front if you're trying to taper the tip, or, you know, taper the back, put a little bit more pressure here. But still, it's all in the belt. Just let the belt do the work. You know, you can do crazy eights, however you want. You know, flip the knife over, do however you want it. Just make sure you're holding the pressure even. You don't want to push up, down. You know, you can even hold it here and here, or here, but don't press in. All right, let's do it. even leave that in real time. Look, it's all cleaned off. Bam. It only took, what, not even 20 seconds. All right, 120, then 865. I had to save the other side for TikTok and all that. Brand new A65. After 120, go right to Trizax. A65, A30. Then you can go to a Norex A16, which is like an 800 or 1200. Then aluminum oxide 2000, you'll have a mirror finish. Now I'm onto the surface grinder. So we made the new one. It's ready to go. Here's the old one I snapped off. So this will be a template and save it because everyone's always asked me to make these. But check it out. I'm not gonna set up a second camera. It's just tool wrap. Now, always wear gloves when working with this tool wrap stuff. It will cut you quick. It's 309 stainless steel. It's what you use for like CPM 154 and all that stuff. My oven's at about 1500 right now, so yeah, I'm just gonna stack them all up. Can't get clamps on it? Hammer it down. My old carpenter hammer for building houses. Look at that big old bad boy. Boom. Next will be me pulling it out of the oven and just letting it sit. I gotta heat treat them all again, but go back and watch the last video. Everything except the part where I said about normalizing is exactly how I do it. 1650, What I have to go look it up. I think it's 1650 for 10 minutes, 1550 for 10 minutes, and 1450 for 10 minutes, and then quench. Or do the regular heat treat, like last video. So I already did the 1650. We're down to 1500. It's pretty heavy pulling it out, and I gotta be real careful when I do. It's cooled down some now for glove use, but see, it's all black. Woo! It's still hot though. Woo! These gloves hold up, I'll tell you what. I'll be back when we're pulling it out. This thing is heavy. I gotta be careful. I do have on the floor down here a mat that's like heat protected, but or fiberglass or whatever. But it's still heavy. Alright. Then we'll get back to knife making in the next part. Woo! Yeah, she's big and heavy. Woo! Alright. That barely did it. We went down to 1450. Now I gotta go down to 1350. Then come back up and heat treat. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Probably about a second for you guys. So I figured I'd just show you this. It's actually the next morning. My voice is probably all cracked up. Gotta get me some coffee. And but I figured I'd kick the oven up. Got everything painted up, ready to go. Yeah, see, no decarb. Nice and clean. Look at them pretty colors. Woo! Finally, let's get these bevels taken care of. So, it's basically the same thing as pre-heat treat bevels. We just have a thinner line to do. And what we want to do is test it for the middle. Try to get it close to the middle as you can. You want it as close to one line as possible. Right down the middle. Now see, it's right down the middle, and it might come off a little bit more from one side to the other, as long as you start in the middle. But that means you might have taken a little bit off one side more than the other. You know, there are a few variables. As long as it's one line, like sometimes you'll have it, and it'll start as one line and spread to two. That means you need to straighten out your blade. It's got a little bit of warp in it. So if you start at one line, and then you flip it over and it's on the same line, but then when it gets up here, it's thicker, that means your blade's a little warped, or you gotta go back and fix that. All right, let's get to the grinder. So I got 2 flat grinds, a hollow grind, and 2 compound grinds. They're all the same, it doesn't matter. The only thing that's different is like a wheel, a 1-inch wheel, 6-inch wheel, 10-inch wheel. How you do them is all the same. You want to grind right down to your line at a steeper angle. Both sides come right to your line, just like pre-heat treat. And then we lay into it. Well, this is a hollow grind, but same difference. You're going to have the wheel on, and you're going to go right down to the line. Boom, right to your line. You can stay a little bit away from it to give yourself guidance if you're scared. We all go through it, we don't want to blow over our line and mess up. So you can kind of gauge it and see how you are. And then, you just start bringing it down. And just like the pre-heat treat bevels, you want to keep your fingers right on that line. That line we're about to make. Use your calipers, same thing. I want my line about right there. I always say this, no battery, it doesn't matter. They're just there to mark in your lines, give you your guide, tell you where it's going to be. Boom. So I better put this down before I flat grind the hollow. I got to do it on all of them. And here's where you'll want to hang the belt over and bring your bevel back to wherever you want it. So there's our line. Boom. Now I'll bring my plunge right back to the beginning of this. So let's start with this one, because it's got a big old choil on it. Here's a 50, it's a little worn. Let's see how it does, and we'll get a new one if we have to. Let's do it. I'm not gonna do the other side for Instagram. I like to leave this little bit here, you know, for 120. 120 is a softer belt, so you have more play, you can have more swoop in it or however you want it. So I just leave it like that. I'm right at the line here. I almost forgot I started here and then I was like, oops. So yeah, we just want to put our pressure. You can even lift the blade off sometimes if you want to. So you're just to get the plunge in there, make sure your belt's hanging over. If you want swooping plunges, if you want them straight up, leave it straight with the thing and just come straight up. Not following my own advice, I went over here. I went over by what, an 1/8 inch? So what I want to do is, that's my new height, so make sure we have it over here. But we only want to come to here and bring it back to here because we're on the line right here. What I think it is, I'm not used to that fat belly. And I'm supposed to be pulling out, instead I'm pulling straight. You know, if you pull out, then it comes up and Anyway. Lesson here. I'm cutting it because I messed this thing up. This grinder's been messing up, and I kind of noticed it when I was doing the other bevels, but I kind of just put it off, and the belt would be hanging over, and all of a sudden I look and it'd be tight up here. So this wheel is probably off. This wheel right here. I'm gonna check this first, so I'm gonna put my other wheels on, and like the bigger wheels, and see if the belt stays straight. If not, I might have to chuck this up in my lathe. Now, I'm always telling people, you know, don't chase your bevels, but that's what I did, because I kept wanting it to swoop and it kept going straight up, because the belt kept moving. And every time I turned the grinder on, the belt would go flying off, so I'd have to turn it way down and start it and get it centered, and then it was just moving back and forth. And I should have stopped there, but I was rushing to get this done, and it's my fault. It's not the grinder's fault. The grinder's only doing what I tell it to do, and my lazy ass wasn't, you know, fixing everything. I've been doing plumbing. If you follow me on Instagram and all that, I've been redoing plumbing, and I'm making excuses. Just like with bevels, when you mess up, don't make excuses. Now, I'll probably surface grind this down and try to get it to work how I want it, and if not, I'll throw it away. You know, even people that have been doing stuff a long time, they make mistakes and they do things wrong. So that's a learning lesson. This whole video, instead of being stock removal 101, is how Dave messed up from the normalizing and all that. Then the next video, I got a couple knives to flat grind. I'll show you how. Now there's some tips in here that you used, but they'll be in the next one too. So I'm calling it here. Make sure to leave in the comments what you think. Should I have cut out all my mistakes, or are you glad that I'm leaving them in and saying, hey, we all make mistakes, we just gotta learn and fix it. You know, a lot of me getting complacent here and not paying attention to things I know I should do. Alright, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, all that. I'll put the playlist for stock removal 101 so you can see how to do pre-treat bevels and all that. A lot of this applies. You probably even see in that video where the grinder was going off, unless I cut it off. Anyway, alright. Yeah, I'm working on these knives, trying to get up on my website, and I got a few that I gotta finish, like the Dexter's. Anyway, I'm rambling. Hope you all having a great day, and as always, take it easy.